is there an argument made that the world's best sporting event is the Australian Open? I don't think there's a better event in Australia than the tennis.
If we talk about annual sporting events,
Take out Olympics and World Cups because they're sort of
I think
4 years.
it would be tough to compete with it, the Australian Open. Like, I think it's a great global event. You can see that because there are like A-list celebrities from around the world.
It was amazing how many A-listers came.
Gates is at the tennis.
Yeah, well, he's come a few times, but there's been a few. Obviously, Bill Gates had a tough week, but there's been a few the Hemsworth, Sarah Snook. There's some big names that came. Obviously Murdoch's came from Sydney, but Sarah Murdoch, and there was some massive names that were here.
It's a great event. That's what Melbourne's got left. All we've got left is sport.
Yeah.
Everything else is gone. My view on this, it's not a unique view, is that effectively horse racing has become much less popular. And so the whole
last year.
Well, the whole birdcage thing though, it's kind of migrated to the tennis. Like all of the,
I think you're
right. It's much more acceptable to be seen at the tennis final than having some lavish tent or whatever it is in the. I
think you're right that the VRC the racing was definitely the forerunners. They created this whole kind of festival thing. Now the AFL does a pretty good job with September Club, and Australian Open does an incredible job now. Almost too good a job that they can't fit everybody in, but it was such a great event.
Well, of those sports that you've just said, so horse racing, I mean, horse racing is not a big global sport. It's big in a narrow sliver of the population, but it's not a big sport. And AFL's great, but like it's very much an Australian-centric thing. Like, so there's the Grand Prix, and there's the tennis, and the tennis, presumably more people are interested in tennis than in car racing. Although
Grand Prix is a shocking spectator event as well.
But it's a good corporate hospitality event.
Yeah, you can argue that. But as it's probably in terms of, if you look at...
Because you don't see much of it, you mean.
If you look at the TV versus in person, the tennis is good in both cases. AFL is good in both cases. Horse racing is probably better on TV. Car racing is like 1,000 times better on TV.
Tennis is better in person, I think.
Yeah, I think you get a great sense.
Because you get the feel of the speed of the shots.
Yeah.
Melbourne is the only city in the world that has an F1 Grand Prix and a tennis Grand Slam in the world.
Yeah.
And so I think like this city has basically fallen to pieces. We can be honest about it, right? Like, I mean...
I feel it's been, like, if you look at it as Nadir, like Nadir, not tennis player.
That's no doubt.
Probably, if you look at probably August, September last year when the weather was terrible and there seemed like a crime wave just destroying the city. It feels like they've tightened back. There was like 100 17-year-old kids who were committing most of the crime.
Yeah.
They've finally actually put them away and not given them bail.
We'll see.
I think it feels like it's come
They might be on holidays. They might have gone away on holidays. They could
with all their wealth. They're probably in some baths or something.
Yeah, that's right. They booked for luxury escapes trips.
But
do you take payment in cars?
in machete. If you look at the tennis, it's probably, and I've always, in terms of cross section of society, it is a bit Anglo. But taking that out, in terms of male female, it's a very even split. Old young, it's a very even split. It's probably the only
sport in the world where women are not only paid equally, but there is a pretty strong argument to say they're paid more, right? Because they're shorter games.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the gap, as I was talking to someone was talking to me about this, the gap between like the best women and the other women is bigger than the best men and the other men, and so there are more matches that don't go to 3 sets in the women's game, and so they get the same amount of money for significantly less.
Probably
tennis.
Half the tennis.
Could be half the tennis.
I went to the women's final. Firstly, it was absolutely. I've never seen so many.
I quite like women's tennis.
I now think women's almost better than men. Well, I think it's completely flipped.
If you said to me, "What do I like about watching women's tennis?" I would say the aces and the service advantage are not the same.
Yeah.
And so, like in men's tennis, this was the Demon's problem. His serve is not great. And so he has a pretty significant disadvantage. The service game is so advantageous. In women's tennis, it's just not the same. The serving power is just nowhere near the same.
But you look at Sabalenka, who's serving faster than most of the men.
Yeah, she's an exception to that rule.
And
yes,
I agree. But you're right in terms of the top 3 or 4, then it drops off more. But I think as men serving, you used to have Sam Groth at 250. I barely saw a man serve much above 200.
Yeah, well, no, they did. Like, I think Alcaraz was serving 220s. But, like, basically, it's not just that. It's the power game. So, for example, if we just keep picking on the Demon, who I think is great, and, like, we all want him to win. I think he will get past a quarter, by the way. But, like, his baseline power, like hitting speed, is outside the top 50 women. Do you know that? That's
Oh, really?
pretty
I didn't know
amazing,
that.
isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And so, like, there's just too much power involved in the men's game, and I think that makes it a bit less interesting.